C-L-I-G.
S-E-L-I-G.
Selig, yes.
Selig,
But
yeah.
I was born in a hamlet
Let me just swing around this side.
in
Yeah.
a small town in Unterfranken. That's Lower Franconia.
Yeah.
That's about 300 kilometers north of Munich. There's Bavaria has 8 sections. Oberbayern, Niederbayern, Augsburg, Schwaben,
So you don't
Unterfranken,
faint?
Oberfranken, Mittelfranken.
Since you're not fasting.
No, I don't faint, but not right now.
Okay.
Not before lunch, thank you. And I was born in Lower Franconia. The capital is Würzburg. You heard of Würzburg?
Yeah, sure.
You know, who was the ancestor in Michelbach? Do you know?
Who was
The ancestor
Gundelfingers.
of the Gundelfingers.
Gundelfinger was there a long time. My grandfather was born there.
What was his first name?
My grandfather Ludwig.
Ludwig Gundelfinger.
Yeah.
Well, my aunt had a son, a cousin, was Ludwig Gundelfinger. He probably was named after the same older
There was
man.
Named after an
Adelheid Gundelfinger was
maybe
his
an
mother.
ancestor 100 years earlier was
No,
Ludwig,
yeah.
and they all got named after him.
Yeah.
No,
They were not named after a living person like
Yeah.
they do in
No,
Holland.
an ancestor.
But
Yeah.
it's Ludwig. They were named, like my name is Herbert, but I'm named after a great-grandfather who lived from 1790 till 1840.
Wow.
And his first name was Naphtali, but in those days they called the child Hirsch. You know, Hirsch.
Oh, yeah.
You know what that is? A Hirsch
Is a
is
deer.
A deer. And
Yeah.
in Hebrew it's Tzvi or
Oh, yeah.
Naphtali.
Okay.
Why Naphtali? How does Naphtali come to a Tzvi to a Hirsch?
Yeah.
You know, in the blessing of Yaakov, he blesses all his children. He compares his son Naphtali to a Tzvi, to a Hirsch.
Oh yeah.
So that's why the children that are called Naphtali, they got the common name of Hirsch.
Huh.
But when I was born, it was name a child after an animal, so they called me Herbert. And I had an uncle, Herman, he was called Herman, who was named after the same great-grandfather.
The same age is carried
So,
through.
my father was born in 1869. He was named after a great-grandfather who was born in 1749 and
Wow.
died in 1828.
Yeah.
Wow.
His name was Yitzchak, and his man's name was Yaakov ben Yitzchak. He was
Yaakov
born
ben
in
Yitzchak.
1720 and died in 1774.
Ah.
You know,
Who did you know you know Michelbach and de Lucke?
I've been there many times.
Really?
It's under Lucke. You know why it's called under Lucke?
Yeah,
The river is
the
called
river de
Lucke.
Lucke.
Yeah.
But not many people even have heard of it, and very few people have been there. Only maybe 500 people lived there.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
My village was much bigger. It had 600 people.
Who was the person
Sounds
you
like
knew in
Israel at
in?
the time of the forming of the nation.
Yeah. No,
Who did you know on Michelbach and de Lucke? Like which Gundelfinger?
Gundelfinger. The Etta Gundelfinger and Lippmann Gundelfinger.
Lippmann Gundelfinger was his father.
No.
Yes.
Then we are related.
Really?
You look like my grandfather.
Wait a
mate.
minute, Ludwig Gundelfinger. But he moved to New York. He lived in New York.
Yeah.
That was your grandfather?
That was my grandfather.
No. There were 2 brothers, or 3 brothers.
3 brothers.
Yes, yeah.
You remember the names?
No.
Max,
Max,
David.
One lived in Chicago.
One lived in Chicago.
Oh my God.
That was Max. Max.
Max, of course.
And
I used
married
to visit
Alvina.
him in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah. Had no children, by the way.
That's right, no children. Max and Alvina.
That's right, Albina, of course. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I can't
What
believe
a
it.
small world.
Oh
Max
my
and
gosh.
Alvina, and David was his brother who went to
David,
England.
That's right, David, yeah.
They had, my grandfather Ludwig had 2 daughters. One is my mother, Helen,
Yeah.
Leni in German, and her sister was, what was her name in German? Lorelei. And they went to England in the Kindertransport. But, God, David, and so you met Ludwig, maybe.
Well, you know, our Aunt Etta didn't get out. She died in Theresienstadt.
That's
She
right.
couldn't get out, and one of my sisters,
your aunt?
my sister's Martha, she got older, so my sister Martha took care of her. And she was also taken away, my sister. She didn't get out.
Your sister.
Yeah, and another sister also didn't get out. But I was lucky I got out all right, so.
Huh.
Yeah.
So how were you related to Lippmann?
you know, no, I have to start. My father was married twice. His first wife was a sister of
No.
Etta Gunderfinger, you know.
His first wife.
His first
Tante
wife.
Etta, yeah, his first wife. And
Was
there was an
sister
aunt in Kreilsheim, Tante Dina, and I was from the second marriage. My mother came from the Hunsrück Mountains. You know where that is, the Hunsrück Mountains? You know,
Yeah, no, I don't know.
you know the River Rhine? You have to cross the River Rhine towards the French border, and there's a mountain range, beautiful. The Germans should have such a beautiful thing there. Okay, and that's where my mother was born. How she got to Bavaria, it's a long story, okay.
So Etta was your father's first
Stepmother.
mother, first wife.
No,
It was the
no,
sister of the mother.
Of Etta, yeah. But I felt like they I was actually not related, but
Yeah.
they were like aunts
But
to
you
me.
are related.
Because they were my sister's aunts, you know, and I adored my sisters. They were older than me, and that's how and there was another sister living in Schwanfeld. Edda had another sister. Dina lived in Kreilsheim, then the Dina Friedman, and then they lived in a town near my hometown called Schwanfeld, and another sister was living in Schwanfeld. Her last name was Heimann. Yeah.
Huh.
And you know, Michelbach has a Jewish cemetery.
That's right.
If you want to find the graves.
I've been
of
there.
Oh, you found
Yeah,
the graves of
all
your
the
ancestors?
Lindelfingers are there.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
Littmann, Gundelfinger. So I'm trying to say, so your father's first wife,
Was
her
a
sister was,
of Etta Gunderfinger.
and Etta Gundelfinger was related to, was the sister of Littmann Gundelfinger?
She was a wife.
The,
The wife, Etta, was your great-grandmother.
Etta was my great grandmother.
I have to tell him his great-grandmother.
I knew Littmann. It wasn't Adelheid.
No, not Adelheid.
No.